Imagine a bank vault. It's big, strong, and very safe. Inside, people keep their most valuable treasures. There's gold, shiny jewels, very important papers. It's a place that protects what matters most. Now, think about another vault. This vault isn't in a bank. It's in our heads. It's in the mind of every boy and girl. In that special vault, we keep other treasures. We keep ideas, numbers, imagination, and the ability to solve problems. How do we open that mental vault? We need a special key. That key isn't made of metal. That key is a very old and very smart game. Chess. Every move on the board, every piece that moves forward, is like turning the key in the lock. Chess gives us permission to open the door to our minds. With that key, the vault slowly opens. And when it opens, the treasures we keep inside start to come out. Those treasures aren't gold or jewels, but they are just as valuable. Now let's leave that picture of the bank and its vault. We're going to travel to a place we know very well. We open the door to a classroom. Neat desks, chairs, colored pencils, open books. But today, something is different. On one of the desks, we see a chessboard. It's a square with white and black spaces. The pieces are still waiting. A king, a queen, rooks, knights, bishops, pawns. At first glance, they look like simple wooden or plastic figures. But each one of them is an invitation to think. Each chess piece has a secret message. It tells us, think before you move me. We can't play by chance. Chess asks for calmness. It asks us to look closely at the whole board. Math, deep down, asks for the exact same thing. To solve a math problem first, we look at the information. Then we think about the operation we need. Finally, we calculate and decide on the solution. In both activities, the process is very similar. Look, calculate, decide. That's why we say chess is a gym for the mind. In this mental gym, we don't lift weights to strengthen arm muscles. Instead, we move pieces to strengthen brain muscles. Chess is a quiet teacher that shows us how to pay attention. To play well, it's not enough to just look at our own pieces. We absolutely have to look at the opponent's pieces too. We have to watch the whole board, every single one of the 64 squares. We learn to see the straight lines that rooks control, the long diagonals of bishops, and the strange jumps of knights. We start to spot patterns. A pattern could be an attacking position or a defensive structure. A child's mind learns, little by little, not to rush. This skill of paying attention is super valuable in math class. Many mistakes and problems don't come from not knowing how to add or subtract. They come from not reading the problem well or not noticing all the details. Chess is also a fantastic trainer for memory. At first, a child has to remember the basic rules, how each piece moves, what it's worth, and what the final goal of the game is. All this practice strengthens working memory, which is what we use to hold information in our minds while we're solving a problem. If a student's memory is strong and reliable, their fear of math goes down. They feel more sure of themselves. A confident student dares to join in more in class, do more exercises, and because of that, learn a lot more. Chess teaches you to plan in a very clear way. In a game, we don't move a piece without having an idea in our head. We always have a goal. Maybe the goal is to attack an opponent's piece. Maybe it's to move our king to a safer spot. In math, something very similar happens. The goal is to get the right answer to a problem. To do this, we need to follow a series of steps in a logical order. A student who plays chess learns to organize their thoughts. First, they understand the position on the board, just like a student reads and understands the problem. Then, they think about different possible moves, just like a student chooses the strategy or operation. After that, they figure out what will happen if they make that move, just like a student does the math. And finally, after making a move, they check the new position, just like a good student checks their answer. This process, thinking like a chess player, is thinking like a mathematician. Let's look at a very simple example. The pawn, the most humble piece, teaches us about patterns. It usually moves one square at a time. 1, 1, 1. It's like repeated addition. It's a constant number pattern. Another example, the knight. It moves in an L shape. 2 squares in one direction and 1 square at a right angle. It's like a simple coordinate. Kids practice counting spaces and seeing movements on a grid. The board is a basic geometry lesson. One of the best things about chess is that you can practice with very short and fun exercises, both in class and at home. Here we suggest an exercise that only takes 5 minutes. It's called the corridor mate. Place a black king in a corner of the board and a white king far away. Give the white player a rook. The goal is very clear, to checkmate the black king on the edge of the board. The student learns a very short and logical plan. First, use the rook to block the king's path. Second, bring their own king closer to help. Third, deliver the final checkmate. This exercise is a lot like following the steps of a cooking recipe or the instructions to solve a simple equation. There's an order. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3. You can't skip any. Another quick and very useful exercise is played only with pawns. Place 4 white pawns in their starting position and 4 black pawns in theirs. The goal is to see who can get a pawn to the 8th rank first to promote it. Kids have to count the moves, compare the paths, and decide which pawn to move each turn. It's pure math in action. We can also use the value of the pieces to practice mental math. The queen is worth 9 points, the rook 5, the bishop 3, the knight 3, and the pawn 1. We can suggest situations where pieces are exchanged. For example, on the board, there's a black queen that can be captured by a white rook, but that rook will then be captured by a black bishop. Should the white player make that exchange? The child calculates. I gain a queen worth 9, but I lose a rook worth 5. This game of values trains addition, subtraction, and comparing numbers. The stories of real students show us the power of chess. Let's talk about Anna. Anna was a girl who was scared of big numbers and long math problems. Whenever she faced a math problem, she would quietly say, "I'm sure I'll get it wrong." One day, at the school's chess club, her teacher showed her the scholar's mate. It's a very famous checkmate that you can get in just 4 moves. Anna practiced it over and over with a classmate. At first, she made mistakes, but soon she saw the pattern. She saw the logical sequence of moves that led to victory.
Subscribe to our channel for more new ideas and education. Hit the like button on this video and share your thoughts in the comments.
A few days later, in math class, the teacher explained a trick for addition. They were the pairs that add up to 10. 1 with 9, 2 with 8, 3 with 7.
It's like a pattern.
She realized that these number pairs were like the friendly moves in the scholar's mate. They worked together to achieve a goal. For the first time, Anna smiled in math class. Now let's meet Luis. Luis was a very restless boy who got distracted by anything. It was very hard for him to stay focused on his tasks. During recess, he started playing quick chess games with a friend. His teacher, seeing his interest, proposed a daily challenge. He would set up a position on the board and say, "Luis, you have 10 seconds to find the piece that is in danger." At first, Luis would look all over the place, but he liked the challenge so much that he started to force himself to look at the board with great focus.
The rook! The rook is under attack! I'll save it! With time and daily practice of these small challenges, Luis's attention span improved significantly. This change was also noticed in his math homework.
A lot of people have wrong ideas about chess. These ideas, or myths, sometimes stop kids and schools from trying it out. The first myth, chess is too hard. The truth, it's not hard. You can learn the basic rules in just an hour or 2. Becoming a world champion, that's the hard part. But that's not the goal for school. The goal in school is to learn how to think. You can start very, very slowly. First, just move the pawns. Then, add the rook. After that, practice very easy checks and checkmates. The second myth, chess is expensive. This isn't true either. To start, you only need a board and its pieces. A basic set is cheap and lasts for years. There are even cheaper options. Print boards on paper, use tokens or buttons as pieces, and digitally, free apps, free websites. There's no real money problem stopping a child or a school from starting. Willingness is more important than money. The third myth, maybe the most harmful, chess is only for really smart kids. This is completely wrong. Chess is for everyone. It doesn't care about grades, age, or where you're from. Some kids learn faster, and others need more time. That's totally fine. Chess can be changed to fit each person's speed. Use shorter games, simpler problems, simplified rules at the beginning. It's especially good for kids who have trouble paying attention or learning. It gives them a clear structure, fixed rules, and clear goals. It teaches them to be patient and not give up. So, we need to get rid of these myths. Chess isn't hard, it's not expensive, it's not just for a select few. It's a fair, easy-to-access, powerful learning tool. Starting to use chess as a teaching tool is much easier than it seems. You don't need to be an expert. With just a few simple steps, any teacher or family can start today. The first step is to introduce the board. It's the playing field. Explain that it has rows, numbers 1 to 8, and columns, letters A to H. A trick to set it up right. The white square always goes on the bottom right. The second step is the pawn. It's the heart of chess. It moves forward one square at a time and captures diagonally. If it reaches the end, it turns into a stronger piece. It's a big reward. The third step is to introduce the pieces that move in straight lines. The rook, the bishop. The rook is like a car that goes on straight roads, horizontal and vertical. The bishop is like a skier who only goes down the diagonals of their color. The fourth step is the most fun for many kids, the knight. It jumps in an L shape and is the only piece that can jump over others. The fifth step is the most important, the king. It's the piece we must protect at all costs. It only moves one square in any direction. Finally, the sixth step is to understand check and checkmate. Check means the king is in danger. Checkmate means the king is in danger and has no escape. Game over. For teachers, the key is to add chess in small doses. You don't need a whole hour. 10 minutes at the start of math class is enough. You can present a simple problem on the board. Mate in one move. Students think in pairs and suggest solutions. You can connect it to the day's lesson. If they are learning about number patterns, you can look at a pawn's movement. If they are learning about coordinates, you can name squares on the board. For families, the advice is to make it a shared playtime. Play short games, 5 or 10 minutes per player. Ask open-ended questions instead of giving the answer. Instead of saying move the knight there, ask which of your pieces is in danger? Which of the other player's pieces could you attack? Applaud good tries, even if it's not the best move. The goal isn't to create a champion, but to create a thinker. One of the most beautiful things about chess is how it can include everyone. On the board, it doesn't matter if you're tall, short, fast or slow. It doesn't depend on how strong you are. It doesn't depend on the clothes you wear or the language you speak. The rules are the same for everyone. One board, 32 pieces, are enough to build a bridge between two people, even if they don't know each other. In the classroom, this is a very valuable quality. Chess brings students together. Boys and girls can play together and compete fairly. Gender stereotypes have no place in chess. Chess is also a fantastic tool for including students with different learning paces. A child who is great at math but a bit shy in other areas can find a place in chess to shine and gain confidence. On the other hand, a child who struggles more with regular school subjects might discover they have a real talent for strategy and seeing things in their mind. Plus, the game can be changed so everyone can play and feel good. Not every activity has to be a full game. You can have problem-solving tournaments where students solve small puzzles, like one-move or two-move challenges. You can tell stories where the pieces are characters in a tale. You can play in pairs where one student moves and the other explains the move. Chess teaches a very important social lesson: respect for your opponent and for the rules. Before the game starts, players shake hands. When it ends, they shake hands again, no matter who won. You learn to win with humility and to lose with grace. This good sports attitude carries over into the classroom. Kids learn to respect what others think, to work as a team, and to accept that sometimes we make mistakes. In a world that's becoming more and more diverse, teaching these values through a game is a really smart way to teach.
Subscribe to our channel for more new ideas and education. Hit the like button on this video and share your thoughts in the comments. Which skill connects most with your teaching? Which one seems hardest to develop? Your ideas and questions help build our learning community and inspire what we'll cover next. Together, we can change education, one teacher, one classroom, one student at a time. The future of learning is in our hands.